Yeah, no, I mean, equity is really, it's a buzzword right now that is in disfavor in a lot of very official circles, and
Mhm.
people are having to scrub it out of their mission statements and having to really to address that kind of critique. I still think it's a very central principle if you're imagining a world in which people can all flourish. You've got to deal with historical inequities. Um, there's just no way around that if you're really trying to create again a world of mutual flourishing. In our work, one of the little examples we give, and this may not be that helpful because everybody that's listening might already be convinced of this kind of thing, um, but if you look at a kind of our long history, which is these inequitable outcomes and realities and systemic challenges you're talking about in the healthcare industry, are the legacies of a long history that didn't just happen.
Right.
This is all a legacy of something that's gone on for a long time. One of the examples we use, and I get this from a friend of mine named David Bailey, who does racial reconciliation work in Richmond, Virginia. But it's just imagine that there's a group of people. There's like 10 of us in the room, and we're going to play Monopoly. We all know how to play Monopoly, but five of us start the game, and we spend an hour together playing the game before the other five get in. And so when the other five come in second, technically, the rules are the same. We have an equal and level playing field, if you will. But the first five have already been going around the board for an hour together, and some of them have hotels, and some of them, like they've figured out how to work together, or who's a little dodgy and you can't really trust, or but like
Mhm.
they've created a culture and they understand each other, and then these new folks kind of get in the game, and they start going around the board, and then somebody lands on Park Place and there's a hotel there, and then like they're kind of done for right off the bat.
Right.
And the example of that is just like there's a lot of inequity that is built into our system. So yes, in our long American story, we have 350 years of absolute and total racialized inequality built into our legal system through 250 years of enslavement, 100 years
Right.
of Jim Crow and other kinds of discriminatory laws. It's not until the mid 1960s with the Civil Rights Law and the Voting Rights Act and the Fair Housing Act in 1968 that we start to get even a legal playing field that's level. But we've got 350 years of kind of an inequitable situation of it, and so just remembering those things, reminding ourselves and so to do that work of making the world more equitable is just doing nothing but like trying to like deal with kind of historical legacies that still manifest themselves in ways that just don't allow for everyone to flourish in the same way. And that if that's the goal, is to create mutual flourishing for all, then this is a core thing that we have to find ways to address. And in a moment like this, maybe we have to be really creative about how we do that, because again, it's a word that is really, under threat or under attack, but also often just misunderstood. People don't actually always know what you're talking about. And so finding other ways to talk about it and still work on it is really critical if you're trying to get to mutuality.